Light them if you got them, because the only people lit up around here are EnVyUs after that troublesome showing there on the first map of this series. Overpass not going any way, shape, or form in the way that they could have wanted it to, but Furia, boy, they were ignited, some might even say.
Yeah. What's going on, Chad?
Have we started?
Yeah, the show's on.
Yeah, actually, we actually...
Oh, that was so quick. I didn't even realize we got underway. What an absolutely abysmal showing from a team that only has, what, how many maps is it? They have a total of 12 maps on record. So if we want to put it in context for a team that's only come together in a short amount of time, yeah, you know, you expect them not to be able to do too much.
Now, one thing that I think sticks out to me the most is obviously there will be questions and comments and this and that and the other about BM in the server, but honestly, give me a competitive title, traditional sport or esport, that shouldn't play a factor into, that shouldn't be allowed.
I can't give you one. I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Why not?
I think that actually, it's like psychological warfare, right? It has to play in a way. And the fact that you're spamming a dead body or that you are teabagging somebody, I don't see any harm in that. It's in the server. Once we get out, we're all friends. You know, everybody's friends at the end of the day, usually, most of the time.
I guess we are. But no, I mean, in addition to the fact that, you know, as Envy, you keep on losing all the close ones. There's a bunch of 3-on-3s, situations like that. And then on top of that, you're getting teabagged on the server. I mean,
it's frustrating.
If there's anything else that's going to eat you alive, I'm not sure what that would be.
Yeah, you know, we could really talk about this map a few times over, but there's just not a whole lot to talk about. What we will talk about instead is the next installment of the series, so far known as the EnVyUs bashing of 2019.
I wanted to say, out of respect, we're not going to go and talk about Overpass any longer.
And I think that's going to be a talking point in its own, right? We're going to flip the page over to Cash, and if you're EnVyUs, you kind of have to erase that from your memory. You have to pretend that map never even happened.
MIB type of stuff, right?
It's easier to do.
Yes.
It's easier to do than a 16-14 loss, right? A game that's super close, and you know you made some mistakes. In a game where you get blown out of the water, it should technically be easier to just go, all right, well, let's just brush that one off. The problem is that was their map choice. That is the issue in this scenario here. So we're now going on to the map choice of Furia, where we saw some really creative things yesterday. And not only that, this EnVyUs roster does not have an official game played on record on Cache.
Now, you talk about creative things and perhaps some of the things that we saw come out of Furia, and we did see some really cool things right off the bat. We're talking even pistol rounds, maybe even some clips for you there, Chad.
Yeah, we can probably run through this. I think Natsu and I have been very impressed by the tactics that these teams have been pulling out, and this is one on the pistol round with so much utility. We highlighted it yesterday, but I want to point it out again. If you look at the bottom left of your screen, 4 players with utility on the T-side pistol round. That is a lot of investment right there.
And I want to just point it out that normally, in a normal situation, having this much utility, not a great idea.
Yeah, it can be something that can be exploited, definitely if the other team knows you go for this. But the cool thing here is they do a very basic A take. They take the bomb site, but the next layer to this is the way that they use their utility. They have the 2 HEs there. You're going to see them get thrown over towards truck. And then they still have 2 smokes left. These smokes are going to continue to play in towards that red box container. So it forces the CTs to have to go between forklift and the red box, which means they're open between A main, squeaky door, quad, and fork. So they're funneling all of the CTs into an alley of death. And this is such a fantastic strategy to use. Sure, they didn't win the map, but it's fantastic innovation.
And that's what's most exciting about this. It's not just shooting of bodies in the game. It's not just the passion and the fire and maybe even the meditation that we're seeing pre-game. It's also some of this innovation that we're seeing in the game as well. Is this an exciting team to watch? Do you feel that this could be their ticket into the major?
I mean, they just, 16-2, 16-3, that first map, I think they have a very, very good chance. Those kind of things you can only do once, right? That's the only problem. But then it kind of showcases you the fact that they like to innovate, right? You can always do similar things towards that B bomb side as well, if you have any hunch of how the CTs like to play in the pistol round, right? But in the big picture right now, you're just looking at the way that Furia is playing. I have a hard time seeing Envy coming back into it.
One of the maybe the positives for this side of EnVyUs going to this, they did choose to start on the T side, right? So if they want to get those AKs back in their hands and play a little bit more aggressively, a little bit faster, you can do that more so on a map like Cache than a map like Overpass, where you need to get the map control first. So that's one thing going in their favor. But as you pointed out, when they were taking the bomb sites, they were losing close rounds, right? They were losing 3v3 post plants. That's still going to be a factor coming in. And I think that it's very troublesome signs for this team right now, because getting back into it or getting the car started seems to be a problem.
And you definitely want to get the car started on the first map rather than in the second map still trying to cold crank it. Guys, it's a little cold over on the EnVyUs side. It's cold outside, and EnVyUs is going to find themselves outside of this major equation real quick if they don't pull it all together. Can they do it on Cache?
The silver lining for Envy right now is the fact that you have players like Nifty, you have JDM, the 2 players that I can think of being really good on cash in number of occasions. So if they are capable of doing things like they've had in the past, and EnVy get there, and Carrigan gets his head straight, yes, they do have a fighting chance here, but the big picture is not looking great.
Look, I think that it's too much of a task right now for this EnVyUs team. I think mentally today they're probably out of it. They still get another shot tomorrow. So I think this just is a 2-0 to Furia.
Well, it could be that simple, and we'll see in due time. That time is now. We're going over to Cash, and I'm going to need you to go on your favorite social media networks and use hashtag IEM to get involved in the conversation, because I want to hear what you've got to say. That's right. We're going to be gaming, recording, and streaming without compromise, live and uncut here as we look to send our next team onward into the majors. And to do that, to tell that story, will be none other than Scrawny and his friend Mohan. Take it away, guys.
Friend, that's a stretch of the imagination, I think.
What, colleague? We're just colleagues now?
Oh, I was thinking business associate.
Business associate. Wow, acquaintance? Okay, that's fine.
It could be one map separating EnVy from defeat and Furia from IEM Katowice, folks. It's a hell of a game coming off of Overpass, and I've got to say, I'm in the same boat. I think this is 2-0 Furia today. I think they want it. I think they've already got it in their back of their own minds.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the energy they were kind of dishing out versus EnVy, the bad manners and whatnot, I'm all for it. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not even sure what prompted Stunna to say that. Maybe it's just like general community reaction in the past to that kind of behavior, I suppose. But yeah, it's part of the game. And as was mentioned, psychological warfare. It's something that has won many things in all of sports history, and at least assisted in it.
In much of
CT
history.
setup, yeah, much of history. CT setup here. 3 players to the back of the site. Very strong positions that need to normally be mollied out. One of those mollies will come the way of Quad. Fence is still wide open, however. And Vinny?
Well, he's tapping away. He was very key, actually, to the CT side of Furia versus NRG yesterday from this very same position. Just kind of holding down Fence, always back around Quad, keeping his team in it. But EnVy are gone.
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. They've got JDM to push through the B bomb site, and not a single CT in sight. So the A stack seemed to be the right read, but EnVy kept their options open, even with all of that utility flying out of A main.
They have Cutler as well behind the enemies. Ooh, damn. One tap, dirt nap from the backside. He even catches the next player in. That's Vinny. But Yuri's the one who has a chance at actually catching kills here. Kerrigan drops him as Vinny moves forward. And this keeps things interesting. He's going to go ahead and jump onto the bomb with the smoke on top of him.
Oh my goodness.
Doesn't have a kit. This is a 10-second defuse, halfway gone. Vinny has half of his health. The terrorists start to get a little scared, and they will ultimately still win the round. 1-0 for EnVy, kicking it off with the front foot.
Came close at the end with the diffuse and the smoke, and almost a full 10-seconder, but Furia don't win the round. EnVy will get the bomb plant the round, and it's partially thanks to JDM. I don't know if it was the initial strategy to throw kind of a fake and escort Cutler out, but it seemed pretty deliberate what they were trying, and I guess maybe JDM was so close to the B wall he heard the rotates out of the site and spotted an opportunity, called for everybody to come back. And yeah, for Furia, I think it is kind of a guessing game for them, as there are no matches played for EnVy, and they have not played EnVy in scrims prior to this event. So there will be a lot of stuff that EnVy could potentially employ to catch Furia off guard, and we know that they are a tricky team. B push here on the pistol, or on an eco round. It's all USPs, and they get all the information, but since there are no kills, they're going to hastily rotate back through their site and make sure that mid hasn't been compromised. Vinny will be the first point of contact for Furia on A. This would be a long-range Zeus.
Extra long. He's going to try to even get close. For a moment, you can't help but root for him. He's not going to find it in the end. Cutler giving space towards A as bomb is planted. Very successful anti-eco here from EnVy.
Part of the reason we're so hesitant to even think that EnVy could work their way back into this map, I mean, well, partially is because we've never seen them play Cash, at least with this lineup, but also just because they played so badly on their map choice, and a lot of it had nothing to do with tactics. It felt like just, you know, they just didn't show any passion when it came to entering bomb sites. They weren't hitting kills. They weren't winning kind of favorable post plants. They even got ecoed in the second half. And so that some of that can come down to confidence. Some of it's maybe because they know they still have the third place qualifier. That bomb tap actually sucks a few players back into the site, one of which will probably die. Oh no, Cutler gets away just in time.
All right.
Nice attempt there from Art to get some extra damage in at the end. And there is going to be a buy up with Vinny going right to the AUG, his specialty weapon.
You were saying yesterday that that he's been using it for a long time now? Yeah,
so somebody tweeted me, and I would love to give them credit, but somebody tweeted me and said that Vinny has been using the AUG for well over a year, just long before any updates, and everybody always called him peculiar for doing it, even when it was expensive, but he has gotten so good at it that he's actually just shown us like an incredible spray, like better than anybody's spray that we've seen so far.
Well, this would be a good time to show it. There's Kerrigan down. He's going to get aggressive into A main, finding Cutler, hitting him too. Down into the depths. That's a second frag for the CTs. Abel amidst the bomb site, even catches the planter and that quad anchor, but Nifty still has forklift. And he's got a Galil to play off of. Such little health, however, makes it a third round not in their favor, folks. It's Furia on the board.
An absolute force to be reckoned with, those AUGs. 5 kills between them, and everybody from EnVy goes down. They attempt to execute in the middle of a smoke, which is not uncommon to do, but obviously the toxic position is very, very useful while that smoke is still up. As soon as the smoke goes down, spotting over top of it, you can get crushed from A main. If there's an opper, like JDM is sitting at the back of A main, he's usually going to win that duel, so it becomes a much more precarious spot, but I guess he was fortunate that EnVy decided to ruthlessly execute without wasting any time. JDM goes for the blind op shot through the smoke at mid, is not successful. Vinny does spot into A main and notices there's at least one player here who'll also hear this reload. And now is just going to re-aggress without any flash. Won't be able to fall back, and oh my goodness, pulls out the double AUG frag, but JDM goes ahead and trades instantaneously.
Yeah, let's see if Art can continue to cut down the numbers. We'll have a vision on Squeaky Door, sees the shoulder, catches Cutler. 4 versus 2 at this point. We've got Nifty feeling out the A site. Bomb's actually in tow behind him on the opper, and Nifty, well, they haven't seemed to find him just yet.
Art has a Molotov, but he's on Cat right now, so it might be hard to kill Fork in this situation. Could come down to Nifty's position. I didn't even realize that wasn't a T. Quesarado on the big flank through Squeaky, leaving JDM alone. He was saying that he and JDM had good chemistry in 2vx's.
Yeah.
And they showed it off, obviously, on Dust 2.
Both those 2v4s yesterday had Nifty in the mix.
Right. Definitely coming alive in the mid-round.
If that's one thing that I'd like to praise as well with EnVy is like at least these, normally, not in this instance, of course, but we saw some really cool mid-round plays from them when they're in those disadvantageous situations, or even when they're just playing bomb sites together, like the JDM Cutler synergy, Nifty JDM, Nifty Cutler. You know, we saw some solid holds, and I wonder how much of that is kind of Kerrigan's fixation on the communication within the team. You know, he had an interview with HLTV where he mentioned that sometimes at this tier of North American Counter-Strike, comms can be kind of hectic, you know, a little sloppy. Well, in my mind, you start tightening up that communication, you are going to start unlocking, you know, that next level of team play.
Yeah, Nifty said,
We've seen it.
from him, his own mouth, he said that he felt like with JDM, if he would tell JDM to do something in a 2v whatever, that JDM would just do it immediately, and vice versa. And so they just had a good, I guess they liked each other's ideas, and they were able to both be good listeners in those situations, and that just made things seamless. Here is an eco round for EnVy. JDM with the op, obviously. He's going to lead the charge. I think they were going to attempt to, or hope that he gets an op pick so that they could just crush B really quickly. But now that they get smoked out, it seems like they'll slow down the pace. They have the smokes to smoke checker out completely, so B main and checker. And that is kind of a good strategy on an eco round to get into the site. How they utilize JDM, though, will be a big question mark. But with plenty of time left on the clock, they seem happy to wait. They are at risk of obviously getting pushed. Furia is not going for that push. But I'm sure they're tense and thinking about the odds and probabilities that Furia might.
Off the flash from his teammate, Yuri opts not to move.
Yeah, and EnVy didn't move either, which I think that's all the flash was meant to see. So this could work.
Remember that op will be giving support. Kerrigan actually dies right behind him. So yeah, Yuri coming out of the corner is good for 3 frags. Swap it to the USP. He'll just get an assist on that 4th kill. and Cutler could easily be the 5th. He's waiting. Wants to rock that P250 as much as he can, but no sir, nothing other than empty hands. It's Furia 3-2.
I've said yesterday that the match they played versus Furia on Cash, it should have been a lot more one-sided, but Furia just had so many crazy individual plays that brought him back into it. Yuri was at the forefront of that on our screens, playing the vent, playing B rotator. He was just outstanding when it came to the CT holds, so expect more of those for sure. They seem to have carried over a lot of the confidence and momentum that they had yesterday. Buy up here is EnVy. Don't have all the guns they want. They go for mid control. Art gets pushed back into vent. And I don't think they know exactly where he is.
No, he could very easily come back into this. Opts not to. Will drop down from his vent position. And now the real test falls onto Vinny. He will section off the E-box push. Single kill for him. Drone, good trade. Creates that space in the face of the truck. Oh, vision blocked off with this utility usage.
Look at this. Quesarado actually just pulled out of the smoke from the site just to play the retake. So they've got the 4v3 and they have 2 Molotovs and an HE and a smoke for A main.
Right. All the kits in the world they could ask for too. So time not going to be too big of a problem, but maybe Nifty can. He's going to be that first point of contact. Puts a couple bullets down range. They're going to know he's over here, so we do see that retake molly come out. The next one hits the quad. Cutler's going to throw back the only grenade that the T's now have, and the counter-terrorists really have to get this rolling. This is when the pressure starts to sink in. Cutler cleared from behind, drone with an additional kill. There's nobody on the bomb just yet, and because of that, they shouldn't have it. No, sir. That right there is EnVy tying it up at 3.
Yeah, they do pull it off. It was that late and that last second Molotov from Cutler. Good on him to hold it for so long. Really changed the game for Furia. They really wanted to come in through the site, but instead had to wrap around red or wait the full 7 seconds to come through. Couldn't make that decision quickly enough, and EnVy go ahead and capitalize on that. It looked like it was about to get sketchy considering they left Art in the vent and didn't seem to know that he was there. The flash went over mid. He took a few shots and then backed off, but even he was too scared to peek mid and assumed it was very obvious that he was in vent, and that made it so that there was actually 3 people dedicated to B. He would have been the other fast rotator over towards A, and so it came down to Vinny as Quesarado was back in the site and eventually gave up the site to try to hold all by himself. He could only get 1 kill, and EnVy picked a good way to execute on A. I don't know how much of it was them realizing that Furia were going to be light on A, but oh, was that Furia? Vinny actually got 2 kills there, but they still picked the right site, so kudos to them. They had limited information, but they made a good read, I guess, off the back of it. And now they once again turn their attention to B.
Smoke deep down, Molotov further. Yuri, I mean, he saw these players. That's a nice little bit of utility coming out from EnVy. Molotov to block him off and push him back. Frag grenade to catch it. He sits to 63. Nifty charging forward on this MAC-10. There are still counter-terrorists on the defense here. They have that checkers control, and Art's secondary op is just cutting down the numbers. Yuri's buying time for his teammates to come over as fast as they can, and all the while, bomb's been thrown out into the open. Quesarado, nice hit. Finds the timing in from vents, delays EnVy further. Nifty's scared at this point, and I don't blame him. The utility's gone from the T side. They should still be able to plant, but Vinny's deep frag grenade is certainly going to hit Nifty for some damage. Could even kill him. Oh, 5 HP the difference as Kerrigan gets a very crucial headshot. Now that leaves us 2v2. Last flash out for Furia, and they're not able to burst off of it. Therefore, just going to have to walk in dry with Kerrigan prying his eyes down towards headshot. Vinny does still get outwards. Nifty's going to fall to a single bullet, and if Kerrigan was dead, that'd be one thing, but he locks down the round. 3 for him in a crucial moment, individually showing up.
Absolutely. Fantastic round from Kerrigan. Those 3 kills were all very and equally important. EnVy go for the crazy execute onto B, and Furia do a great job of standing strong. They delayed for a long time. The rotators got kills. There's a few moments there where you think, okay, Furia are just going to be able to collect themselves and bring this back, but you got to appreciate that all of EnVy's nades showed us that they were aware of both the op and checker and the player on site, and they tried to isolate them and molly them out. They forced a smoke out on default in an awkward engagement that the MAC-10 ended up winning, and they also pushed Yuri into checker botch, which is not a position that he wants to be in when it's known.
Flashbang to A main. JDM's with one. Drone spraying him down. Sure enough, Kerrigan dies, but that's it. Furia were all in on the single flashbang. They die together, committed to the cause.
I also wonder how much it's crazy because Furia just playing so well, you know, at their first like really big LAN together. But I also wonder how much, you know, they're still human. Like they have to experience pressure, right? I mean, like I feel like Kerrigan, no matter what his stock after all this is said and done, has risen because he's kind of performed above expectations with a random team, even though the players are quite good and have their own individual storied performances. But for Furia, like this is kind of like everything. They've never done it before. You know, right. The story is so much greater in that regard.
And kind of with the fall off of Luminosity, we've all been asking ourselves, like, who's the best Brazilian team after MIBR? Well, this major, or minor rather, did have 4 Brazilian teams. Only one left. Only one with a chance to get into the actual event of IEM Katowice, and it's Furia, the team featuring Vinny, who seems to be the AUG god. He'll catch 2 kills by quad, comes in for a 3rd, and he's going to swap out weapons as he tries to figure out where Kerrigan's got off to. No casualties for Furia here in the 9th round. That is flawless.
Vinny makes it look so easy, but for a lot of people, they can't control the AUG past the first 7 bullets. He's able to get 2 kills, no problem. Always set himself up for a 3rd kill, and it's not just because of the AUG, it's because he has great positioning. But again, it just seems like he's so comfortable holding down sites by himself with it. Even on a previous round, we saw Queserado evacuate after his hold fell through, and it doesn't seem like they're relying on playing together too much on the A side, and instead just having him play around the fence or quad, and then either getting kills or not getting kills. Reverse door open to get Vinny up on the boost. They find it to be much safer, maybe because teams oftentimes spam from A main very safely as T's. In terms of time, it's probably about the same. And we have not checked up on this push, but are going to go ahead with some delayed mid-control. Always nice to go for delayed mid-control just because a lot of the CT's Molotovs and other nades and stuff like that come out early. So if you avoid the chance that you take nade damage that wasn't even maybe meant for you. But Art will keep an eye on this. Standard setup from the CTs as he plays from the white box with an op. Seems like a reverse boost in the event is imminent. Smoke out on B main to allow them to do this safely. Doesn't seem like there'll be a remolly. The flash is out and drone goes down.
Yep, nobody even damages him for the push. Nifty tries his best, keeping them sectioned inside the checkers. They really want to, though. They could easily push him. He's alone entirely. We've got Envy starting to move their feet towards A. Once they get here, they will catch Vinny up and above. And when I say catch, well, they may be caught. Not going to clear it. Kerrigan runs inwards with the bomb and throws it out onto the open. So Envy, it's either in or out. They are going to push forward. Nifty's Deagle gets that kill. Don't let your eyes fool you. JDM moving inwards, trying to trade off of this. 8 seconds for the bomb plant to go down. There's just so many bodies being thrown forward, but damn it, Nifty! 4 frags for him, starting off with a Deagle, and he does it based on time.
And you saw him no-scope that guy on Shroud?
Yeah, of course.
Nasty Deagle, man. That was crazy second shot. A round that was much needed. It felt like Furia had the perfect A setup. They look very strong on A on previous rounds, and they deal with a Shroud boost that can always net you a couple of kills because of kind of how little you anticipate it. Kerrigan obviously just running out into the site, not even clearing it because there's so many other angles to worry about. That's low on your list of priorities. And yeah, partly a part of that is due to just the lack of audio cues as EnVy don't go into squeaky with the default. They also don't go into A main or don't do anything quickly. And the late mid control gets shut down as well. Furia looked super solid moving into this round. Really took all the heroics for Nifty to pull this one out, and I'm glad he ran out of UMP bullets so we could see this.
Woo! That headshot. And that does boil down to Furia looking to just envelop the bomb site. You know, they could have played retake with the remainders of the players who did rotate over. And if somebody had just been patient, I don't think that plant actually happens. But they pressured them off it. And here's the cost. We're just going to have some pistols tossed around Furia here in round 11. Down by 2. At a T side that's starting to piece itself together. I mean, take into consideration, Nifty's 4K just now. That is right after Furia have finally won their 4th round, so...
As soon as that first kill goes down, Art makes his way over the boost just because his teammate kind of makes his position known or allows them to more easily anticipate the thought that he might be there. Very weak pistols left over. EnVy won a pretty important round there, huh?
Yeah, really important one. Definitely enables them to kind of shoot for the stars here with what is left of their T side. Unless Furia can smack them out of nowhere with an upset of their own. But
let's not get crazy.
Not in this round. You know, I'll give him a chance if it was armored pistols. I'd give him a chance if they were still 5 up. But Vinny, not even going to be given an opportunity here. Nifty tries to rapidly clear other corners. There's no one to find, however. Furia are gone.
Should be an easy bomb plant in the 4v2 with lots of guns. Nifty goes ahead and puts it down, covers out. There is the UMP recovered. Able J definitely earned that one. And he can use it on CT side. There's a lot of positions that it'll be viable. Caserado is coming to ask him how he did it. How do I find a gun? Do you know the secret? Oh, okay. I guess you just got to ask.
No, you take it. No, you take it.
And they'll look to hold exits in this situation. Way more competitive than I'm sure any of us anticipated.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, just because of the individual level of EnVy seemed to fall flat on Overpass. You know, It's not like we said it wasn't as though they didn't have strategy, they didn't have a game plan. It was very clear their intentions.
That's the crazy part, right? Too.
Unsuccessful intentions. That's all.
Yeah, and like Nifty would have like the map on train, and then go on to do just fine, or just have a great map and then a map like train, and then go on to do just fine. Just inconsistent, but it seems to be on a per map basis. Just most surprised that all went down on Overpass, but they can put that behind them. And it seems like they've done a good job of doing it. They're now into round 12. 7-4 for EnVy on the T side of Cash, and this will be the first official map on record with this roster. So it could potentially be 100% win rate, which is always a nice stat. Always nice to be able to say you've been undefeated. Caserado has played the spot almost every single round. Very adamant about being in this position. The trade's not out immediately. Oh no, I'm lying. Drone was very quick about that.
Yeah, he's looking for more.
Doesn't even take damage.
Well, he might. Art's arrived. Sees the grenade come out, and he's actually overextended from that white box. So later Art, and hello Nifty. First round. Our first frag of this one, breaking vents, getting closer. Molotov's gonna push Abel into the open. Or, all right, he'll lock it down. Now, is there any further grenade that could get him out of there? Only Cutler's molly.
Yeah, he's in a good spot to do it too. So they can wait this out and then just hit B. And Furia are just gonna be hoping and praying that they do not have any more impact grenades or Molotovs to flush him out of this position. It'll leave one in the back of B.
There you go, sectioned off.
And he did just flash. So Yuri, can he go superhero mode?
Well, Vinny throws a flashbang for him, but the terrorists hadn't exited yet. Now they are. Outwards they go. No utility left, but Vinny still catching the headshot on a Cutler, pushes Nifty into the clutch. He knows where these players are, but how does he get the duels his way? Anticipates the peak, 20 seconds, and he gets nothing further than the controls of Checkers. They had it pieced together with B main and Checkers, but it was just exiting that became the problem.
How on earth, was that Vinny or Yuri who got the kill through CT with the AUG?
Vinny.
How on earth did he even see him? I don't know if he just timing spammed that, but it was perfect. I want to say the smoke was bad, but it looked like it was just fine. Either way, cut down on the cross, and they even had this double peak repaired, so Yuri was not taking an over risk by strafing right into the crosshairs of Nifty. JDM looks for the timing shot, but Furia are a bit later to mid than he anticipated. Standard nades out. Caserado's not pushing up here this round. Instead, they're just kind of playing a 2-1-2. And they have a good shot when they kind of excavate mid. I think the one exploitable, or the one exploit for Furia is their counter boost and events have been very powerful, and EnVy have not remollied or pushed in for vents control. And I think the one round they did, they got shut down. But it doesn't seem like Furia's spot, so grant them the opportunity to go for this counter boost. At least not quickly enough that it makes sense. So potentially exploring a good option here as they run out mid with 2. This squeezes Furia into trying to get back map control, and Art comes lurking into A main. And not a flash for a tell, so Envy don't seem to know and won't be alarmed of the threat of this.
Color's just looking to puff his chest a bit from Squeaky Door. Make a bit of noise as we hit that 45-second mark. And then walk back. Now, we talked about the A main aggression coming out from Art. Yuri's been here since the start, just underneath the vent now. Looking into the wall, anticipating the support from his teammates on site. And looking to dodge grenades that may fall out from vents itself. There is a player out there, it's Drone, but the bomb's gonna double back. It's gonna double back towards the A site, and they have to clear these corners thoroughly. They have to be able to stop Art. He's already given himself away. Molotov to try and completely section them off. 10 seconds, Drone needs these entries, and JDM combines with him. 3 frags as a flurry from Envy, getting their feet onto the bomb site just in the nick of time. Kerrigan drops in from vent, and this looks like a clean sweep, nearly. Yuri the only survivor. Envy, hell of a rotate.
Damn, that's ridiculous how fast they got out onto the A site, got all those kills. And it came down to the wire. There was certainly options there for Furia. I think they had just fine spots. They just couldn't meet each other halfway with the kills. Art didn't get a single frag with the AUG and only put the Molotov down that they were happy to run through, knowing that one of the threats on A was taken out. And then Drone and I think it was Cutler swung out highway.
Yeah.
Able to get both their kills in quick succession. So solid stuff.
Thing is actually I think maybe it could have been JDM from A main, and the reason I just bring that up is to point out like the timing was perfect. You had Drone hitting the top of highway just as they arrived on A main, and that's including a player who is in A main meant to slow them down. If Drone doesn't have that additional support, is he going to maintain spray clearing both E-box and truck? Possibly not. So well timed, well entried. Envy have an 8th 3-round lead and a buyback from Furia that costs them everything, but doesn't give them much.
Only a scout on Art, and they're back into a similar setup. One that is like less resource intensive, obviously, where they are just keeping an eye on mid, but not smoking mid-main. JDM, I don't know if he just hit the craziest flick of his life, but it seemed like he was posted on Z. This, however, will activate Envy. Knowing that they bought is going to be a sigh of relief, I think. Kerrigan looks to just straight up chase this kill to top highway. Caserado shuts them down, however, and this smoke is only going to help the CTs, I think, delay for time and cause some confusion for Team Envy. Caserado goes ahead and recovers an AK. It's flashed through highway to get information back. Are they going to anticipate this? It looks like yes.
Nicely done, JDM. Maybe off of that flash, deciding to double back and just clear it.
Pretty confident for them to do that, and it's so nice to see that, to be honest. They also called them out, but always be kind of a pest for map control.
Moving forward with utility usage, they'll take further control of the B site, you'd think. Yuri back here, has dropped bomb for a moment. We have 35 seconds, and we have bomb control for the CTs. They've lined up. They die together, hand in hand. Abel strikes them down and puts JDM into the clutch. He knows there's a man in the back of the bomb site, realizes Vinny would be that rotator, but has just a slight bit of cover here, sitting amidst the trash. He's now been spotted, surely. He's gonna go ahead and smoke off Vinny. Try to section the gunfight into the back of the bomb site, hits it with a pistol, and the second is his! JDM with 9, as Envy keep it going.
How could you not get hyped about that one? You know when he stops moving, just hands off the keyboard and mouse in the air. And we missed the moment just barely, but I'm sure he was jovial. That's crazy. And yup, he does hit the op shot of his life. What a fantastic round by him. 4 kills there in the 1v2 with the P250.
And coming into the minor, like before things really started to gel for Envy, yesterday was the best we saw of the team, but that was only the beginning for JDM. He's been the most successful player statistically for this lineup since the very start of the America's Minor, excuse me. Furia is still here, obviously, and still here, obviously.
Oh my God.
Caserado, what's that?
That was Art Attack.
Double CZ kill. Art gets aggressive. He'll catch out Cutler. I mean, maybe Envy caught off in their jubilation, They're going to go ahead and give away this last round, so it seems.
An eye for an eye, huh?
I've seen a JDM 1v5 on Cash before.
From this exact same spot, I believe.
I'm just saying. He's going to get boosted upon as players push A main and the flank. His feet can be seen, and he's down for the count. Furia, well, they're not done just yet. 3 rounds the difference, folks, as EnVy have an advantage. We'll be back after a break for the second half of Map 2. Three rounds in a row from Furia as we were 5 rounds deep, and then just a couple more sprinkled all across. A little forced by victory to end the half, create a bit of a question as to, are Furia gonna win their map? They dismantled EnVy on Overpass, and now here we are. 1 half potentially away from Brazilians at the new challenger stage of the major.
And it was definitely their T side that fell a lot more flat yesterday than their CT side, which was full of heroics. A lot of early damage done as Cutler comes away with the first frag. It's a stack outside of B, but there's still 3 CTs to work through if they want to get into B. And Furia are going to hightail it right through garbage. Or useless. I think there's a Ken there. Might be some trash in it. I don't know. But Furia are instead going to take their talents towards A. Cutler might have more kills on his hands.
He's sitting back here on quad. We'll have some support by Kerrigan on truck. The rest of the counter-terrorists entirely on that B bomb site, so he's just going to fall off. We're going to play retake, so it seems. That would leave EnVy with 2 smokes and the kit.
Interesting to see Furia actually have 2 Molotovs left over, which we saw what that did versus a retake of Furia in the first half, depending on how long EnVy take to work into the site.
Let's see. There's down 1 now. We did have Chad kind of picking apart the execution on the retake. Furia trying to trickling EnVy over towards Fork and Red Box instead of being able to push up through the bomb site, but that's exactly what Kerrigan's gonna do. His entire team just charges right in. JDM shanks Vinny, and okay, EnVy. Wow, take your double digits.
Yeah, they go ahead and take it with confidence. The smoke misses the mark a bit, and that puts them at risk, but there's not even enough time for Furia to think about throwing the Molotov. Both players at quad go down, and Vinny doesn't stand a chance.
Wow.
Lots of money made for JDM, enough to buy an op if he wants to indulge him in.
I want to see, I didn't see amidst this where Kerrigan was at. Okay, he's the man on E-box.
Okay, yeah, just holding that down.
I thought he's just holding W key, running in for the defuse.
Just a discount Negev, just suppressing fire towards quad.
Too many bodies there for Furia to try and hold on to.
It's a full-on deco.
A classic.
Has mixed results. It's probably one of the better maps to do it, to be fair, but it is pretty expensive. And it's gonna rely heavily on EnVy peeking things that they probably don't need to. And op should be fine. But Fury have been quite strong on ecos. Small opportunity missed. You can start to tally those up, and
we also know they have pretty good aim, Launders. We've seen them hit some headshots. Why not do it with a Deeg? Art has found an opening. He'll creep through Z. Kerrigan lying in wait on the other side.
Some map control taken. Tense situation as Furia.
Oh, there we go. Shoulder spotted. Kerrigan backs up just a bit. He's gonna know now Z is susceptible. All the while, keep your eyes on the radar. Furia, they've got their footing at the B bomb site, and the defense comes in the form of a tagged up drone and Nifty with a nade in his hand.
Yeah, the only problem is it's going to be hard to actually charge the site with these guns, so
yeah,
they don't get this opening kill.
So far, so good for EnVy. Vinny will catch one. Kerrigan goes up to the heavens, taking shots over from B main. 20 seconds left over, and drone drops a molly to block off anybody pushing from lane. They can wait this out, but they will be left down to the last few seconds of the round. And then the big question is, how long can Drone survive? With an MP9 and teammates so hot on the rotation, they've got it, but he's got a FAMAS. 8 seconds for KS Serrato. He's gonna just try to plant, desperately getting it in, and not even. Cutler runs him down, and that's EnVy to 11.
Yeah, round ends just at the 4-second mark. The Deagle round looks scary. There's a small chance there where they're able to get all the kills necessary. Taking Z control was pretty big, but Kerrigan was aware of it. And then Drone actually played it quite well considering his HP was so low, finding at least 1 kill with the MP9. Probably the reason that they weren't able to score a plant in time. And now EnVy off to an even stronger lead, 11-6. As they look to close out Furia's map choice. Again, not something that we thought we'd see. Cutler goes for kind of a weak peek into A main. Doesn't spot everything and probably won't realize how close and how many Ts are waiting to exit onto the A site. This next rotation is on highway.
Smoke underhanded. JDM, well, he's already found himself one. It's going to turn Cutler's attention back towards the actual cross just in time for the flashbang to blind him. JDM finds Sanctuary on top of the toxic barrels, but he's lost the teammate as Kerrigan goes hot on the flank. He doesn't get a kill. That's the tease with an immediate advantage cut back by Drone. He too comes in from A main only to fall after one. And so we're left with the original defenders plus Nifty. JDM low health. Could get boosted over red box. Yep. That's what they're going to do. Throw a man to the top side, but it's been spotted and dealt with already. Art and KS Serrato kill them both, and Furia on the board with 3 alive.
Kind of a tragic way to lose, isn't it? To have Kerrigan come barreling out of A main, not finish a kill, turn his attention to another target, and then fail to finish both.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. But could it be an important moment for EnVy? They lose the first rifle round of the half. And there were some good trades, don't get me wrong. Drone had this position in A main, could have been set up for more than 1 kill. But also a couple of kills that come from Furia just spraying through smokes at the correct angles and being good about where they thought that EnVy were going to try to rotate into. EnVy don't have enough money to buy the last eco, plus losing all 5 this round just proves to be too expensive. And they have now 3 smokes, some upgraded pistols, but nothing beyond that. Furia with 7 rounds look to make it 8. And the most important thing for them here will obviously just to win the round as cleanly as possible, save as many alive as they can so that they don't have to be in the same position as EnVy. Let's see what the anti-eco strat looks like. We know they've got a couple. Passive defaults always warranted here on T side. And Flash goes high over the mid boost. And Art looks for his opening kill, but instead we'll just go ahead and gift an AK to Kerrigan. Got Gotta wonder if that was a little bit too aggressive. It was calculated with a flash, but maybe they weren't anticipating EnVy to be saving in this situation. Either way, they at least make it 4-4. And they've still got a significant guns advantage.
Gonna start throwing out the little utility that remains. Molotov to prevent any kind of a forklift peek that would enable the T's to walk through, but Kerrigan spams all the way back from truck, and his pistol players are going to close that gap. They're going to get into the faces of KS Serrato, but does he die? So far, so good. Drone as well has been caught over towards that B site where the bomb is doubling back for, so the longer KS Serrato keeps their attention, the better. He's going to have one player completely sectioned off to Nifty. Spotted his shoulder, so he knows exactly where he is. This duel doesn't matter as much as the one on the other side of the map. Come on, Kerrigan, 3 kills.
Ridiculous. He also has info on both players left over. Kerrigan, is he going to be aware of the flank in this situation? K. Serrato right on his tail as he moves into the site. Bomb dropped in a very awkward spot. Abel, oh, nice crouch peek. Kills Kerrigan with the headshot, and it was looking like a revenge of the Kerrigan story, as he failed quite heavily last round, but then came through on this eco, initially taking Art out, picking up the AK, and putting 2 more kills on the board.
Yeah, to go from the middle of the map all the way push forward, back into the car of A site, rotating towards B is the last line of defense. Drone push forward to try and get something done. I was wondering to myself, is that bomb placement really going to win the round?
I have no idea how the bomb drops on the top of the default plant. That seems like such a high place for it to go. He might have been killed jumping.
I have no idea why bomb doesn't drop where someone dies. Know what I'm saying? At the feet, Launders.
Think it should?
I think it should. I don't think there should be bomb physics, personally. Because you get wild rounds like that. It's
Hell
exciting.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Gonna get stunning going in the greener.
What more can they do here? 3 frag grenades is all EnVy have.
How well timed will they be? 2 players in A main. One makes his position known in Squeaky. JDM, does he have one of them? No, he doesn't. He's just sitting here, gonna be working as a turret. And there it is. Off that information, they release him 3, but 0 kills. Very little damage.
Thing is, too, obviously indicating there are 3 players here at the very least. Furia not going to charge forward, just anticipate shoulder peaks.
That's the thing about like A side. It's so nice because the choke point's just nice and wide. They also don't have a checker to their right that they have to worry about. And so they can sit here, they can work on truck, they can work on the side of sight, all of the top boxes, like where JDM was sitting, clear out forklift with a Molotov, they can bounce, open Squeaky to threaten that position as well. And there's enough room for 3 to 4 people to sit beside each other and all frag at the same time, maintaining that that distance from the USPs. So Furia, go ahead, steal that one away. They get a, that's not steal that one away, they just grab it, it's easy. And they also get a bomb plant off of it. Lots of money made. Whereas EnVy, well, EnVy did a good job saving. 2 AWPs for them. They'll have 1 AUG on Cutler. Doesn't seem like Drone or Kerrigan are up to the new meta. Certainly going to favor anybody who adopts it early. JDM will go back to the spot. Obviously can fall off from here at any point, so you're just going to try to stay as close to the edge as possible. You can also see heads just over top of it from this box as well, or as he's aiming for anybody who jumps up on the box in the corner.
Is that player boosted? No, Drone's just tucked away at the bottom of mid. Could go into a boost. We do have 2 CTs in that position, and there you have it. Drone's going to be sent up and over. Vinny waits for his head. Oh, there we go. Pops it just as JDM dies on the A side as well. So 2 entry frags for Furia, 1 responsive, 1 proactive. Showing both sides of the coin. Yuri, just next to red, does allow Cutler to cross behind forklift. He could go huge, but doesn't anticipate Yuri to be just sat there. Therefore,
so here's the thing: we see a lot of those rounds. We see a lot of rounds where teams execute A, where if the kill comes out, then they follow suit and run through. But it wasn't a full exec; it was just a default, and we had 1 player, I think it was Yuri, who took out JDM on top of the site. that wasn't even a round where they're going to kick off the execute. Drone sees that frag and he thinks, okay, they might be moving to a full exec A. They were actually just full defaulted, like anti-force buy spots and holding that boost for so long. And that's why teams will sit on that boost, but they'll wait patiently, almost forever. And it's actually such a nice spot for whether or not the team goes mid. If the team goes A late in the round, you can be a big flank if you delay it long enough, because ultimately they can't hold forever. And if they do come out mid, well, you're in a really strange spot for them to fight you. And if they come over the boost, you maybe have a bit of an advantage if you're the player who sits there, because it's going to be less anticipated for the T coming over, whereas you're, you know, hoping they do. So Furia, go ahead and grab a 10th round. One round the difference, as they are right on the tail of Envy, who have now called attack timeout to talk things over. 3 to 3.5K apiece. That was actually a double op setup, wasn't it? Nifty had an op. I don't even know where he died.
He died at the end of the round trying to just keep it alive. He was caught by the players just aggressively clearing. And then Yuri, you know,
that's tough.
Classic fashion, 20 extra bullets to the corpse. Starting to break down Envy economically, with that lead 2 slipping past. Hate to see Envy fall into that low energy look we had on Overpass. It is still back and forth, but it has also been 4 rounds in a row here to the T side of Furia.
The game's certainly not over, but the CT economy can get out of hand quickly, and we know Envy like to save for double ops whenever possible. This round they invest just a little bit into flashes, a couple upgraded pistols, and we'll get to witness another anti-eco round from Furia, as they probably play the guessing game on what site that Envy are stacking. They get the initial kill on mid. Obviously much safer to go up over the boost as opposed to go out through lower mid like Art did on that previous round. Also with the assistance of a flash and I think a Molotov for just under the boost. 4 CTs grouped up and ready to pounce. But the bomb drifts back to the other site, as Yuri seems to have gotten a bit of information, and Art controls the rotations. Expect all pistols to fight this round. Furia potentially will delay a plant just to like isolate these kills. They've got so much map control, they're like shocked at it.
A little trigger happy at the end. Able J, good for 2, not the 3rd. They will most certainly hunt Nifty. Does Drone catch a player right now? Yep, absolutely. Shiv in the back of the spine. Art denied a save. That's just 3 now up for Furia. Yuri could very well be pinched here. Yeah, in fact, Nifty doubles back into this. Come on, Launders, what are you thinking? We're all tied up at 11. Envy are going to get back into their buys. Then what?
Then for them, they could try a similar setup. I mean, you just don't want to get dry-peaked opping A main. That's probably a better start. They could draw those double ops out into the late round if they don't lose them so early. It's just hard to criticize someone for losing to an AK that swings on you. It's a shot you need to hit, but it's a kill that's going to come sometimes. The only issue is they just don't have that many opportunities to buy in this half. And that's what's going to be counting against them most. They go right back into the double op setup, and we'll see hopefully not a repeat of what we saw last round. Seems like a late mid take on the books for Furia. Dart comes out lower and wins his duel. Dry versus Kerrigan out in the open, crossing from sandbag to white box. And now that'll squeeze the CTs into pushing for map control. They do win over A main, but how long are they willing to hold on to it?
Not at all. Looks like Furia are going to transition into this B split now. I feel as though that delayed setup was because of the flashbangs over mid. So Art was set to begin this play, meant to succeed from the get-go. And we know that Nifty can lock it down from the back of the bomb site. None of the Molotovs actually hit his feet, and Drone on an off position will deny Art here for now. That's a Molotov put out by Smoke. You can see the CTs enveloping this setup, but Furia know they have to get rolling. They'll pause just a moment in order to establish man advantage. Cutler yet to hit this, 50 seconds, so there is no rush, really. And unfortunately for Cutler, he's very wary of a potential double back from Furia, but they don't even seem to be looking backwards, Launders, only looking forward towards this B site. Both snipers in here. No rifles to support them other than that. Cutler's still going to find nobody all throughout this, and JDM has to go up into the heavens because smoke blocks off below. At what point does he walk out? Right into Vinny. He does catch Yuri all, at the wild, but poor Cutler. He's been chasing ghosts back here. Easy kill versus Vinny. Then peeks wide, can't transition that spray. KS Arado with an off angle. Offers himself in the open for the fight. He'll take it and protect the bomb planter. That is Furia to 12.
They infested that site like termites and just made it so difficult to try to figure out a way back into the round. You have to give it to Furia. When they get map control, they know how to hang on to it. And they also know what to do when they have a lot of time left over. Super difficult for the CTs to find those frags, and it's officially a round lead for Furia. 12 to 11 now as they move into, I mean, thankfully for Envy, it's actually another buy-up. They also can afford the 2 ops. JDM goes wide on one shot. Will have to fall back. Both oppers low, but not out of the round. Art, however, finishes off that initial trade, and Cutler goes ahead and trades that back.
Yeah, then take by the dink. Here comes the push inwards. Nobody else here actually to stop them. Nifty just has an angle for anyone who overextends, and Kerrigan's caught. He was playing the catwalks.
And what can you say? They spread like wildfire. It's I don't know what more tools can Envy ask for to be able to stop these executes.
I mean, both of these, however, do boil down to Art getting kills in mid. This time, sure, the threat's quelled by Cutler, who doubles back, but you could argue Cutler having to double back from Forklift then opens up the A site. If Furia hesitated, maybe they don't get as much off of all this, but Art creates an instance for the rest of the team to come in, and like you said, spreading like wildfire. You know, they didn't slow down, just burnt up the brush. And they've left Envy scorched.
Now it's a game of exits. Drone will at least get one, but even he cannot survive. Nifty just opping, and looks like he'll be safe for the rest of the round. Bomb goes off, and they can recycle this. But are their hopes quelled? They don't have enough to support this. And they're going to have to make a pretty tough decision as to whether or not they want to force behind it to try to give them any chance of surviving versus Furia. But Furia are just starting to look so good here on T side. They're making such sensible decisions as to what sites they want to go to. They're able to juggle for mid control when they see there's a heavy presence of the CTs on A.
7 in a row now. Calling their own tactical pause. Bottoming out their pauses, actually. So Furia not looking for the long con. Looking to sprint to the finish line. And sprinting was what they have done in that most recent round. I'm still kind of shocked with just the tenacity of the A hit. Here's Cutler coming back to catch Art. Don't really get to see how the next engagement went, but you know, he does get caught off by that A main player who was ready to trade. And a trade frag made necessary because of highway hit. Art's not going to come middle this time. Looks like Furia are going to double flash into A main immediately. They get smoked off by Envy, who have 4 players near. I say 4 players, but not all equipped. Just JDM on that op.
Okay, Serrato looked like he wanted to line up that smoke, but now it seems a bit weary. He's just waiting for his teammates.
Oh, do it.
Don't know if Kerrigan was spotted crossing to the front of Squeaky. But yeah, I feel like they're just trying to isolate him and eliminate the guy. Oh my goodness.
Reed on the anti-eco. Remember, JDM, he was actually the first player to die, so Nifty's Deagle does get the head of Vinny, swapping into the op. Now, if anybody else wants an op other than JDM, it would be Nifty. Drone, USP, last line of defense, outnumbered 1-3, and Furia outnumber Envy 14-11. 1 more round to secure overtime. 2 more rounds from getting themselves to IEM Katowice.
Stickers. We're officially in sticker territory for Furia. Halfway through this game, it felt like EnVy were keeping it competitive and actually getting control of a lot of the rounds. And then we also saw a lot of the missing pieces for them in the first map come into play. JDM with the 1v2, the 4K from Nifty with the Deagle on the Eco. And that was on top of a lot of good rounds just on rifles where they won with standard play. But now Furia have just gotten so good. Like they have just gotten so insanely good on T-side. Even on these entirely full buys with 2-op setups, Furia are working defaults, which should oftentimes fall when there are 2-ops in the server, and are almost always able to just completely dismantle these CT setups. Really, really impressive stuff. And it's hard to even pit it to just one thing. It's a lot of moving parts for Furia. They keep their options open. Everyone's very smart about their positions. They're never too reckless or careless about the way they peek. And it's always a mystery as to what site they're going to choose, and I can only imagine how difficult it is for the CTs to figure that out as well.
Oh, Kerrigan, he's got behind Art, but he was blinded, so it all gets delayed. Makes for a scary situation whereby Art never turns around. So we will watch Furia try to hit up this B bomb site with some utility. Playing at the man disadvantage, they have fired Nifty out of the bomb site. They're just going to slow to double back. Remember, Furia eliminating Luminosity from the closed qualifier just to get here at the minor. 4 Brazilian teams in attendance. Nearly renamed the Brazilian minor. And yet now they are that last chance. GM deleted. Vinny's got that swift headshot, and it's normally in moments like that that we see Furia just sink their teeth into bomb sites, and even now, they'll play it patient.
Highway box control. This makes the Z rotate so much more difficult. 2 players in B and EnVy are just sitting there clasping their hands, hoping that the fight comes their way, but Furia have other plans. Cutler, does one better than Vinny with the AUG, and that does open up the round quite severely. That kill goes the other way, and you think CTs are certainly saving, but now the retake may be on.
They've got little tidbits of utility to make this happen. A double Molotov could be great for quad and the standard plant, both of which are occupied at the moment. Sure enough, we get the feet moving, but the T is still happy to duel off here. Man advantage now given away. Nifty ejects, and there it is, the save called. EnVy feeling out the bomb site, trying to use the utility for the opening, but instead, it shuts them down.
This is the round that Kerrigan got that kill on Art, so a 4v5 that Furia worked their way back into by re-aggressing mid. It has been a trick up their sleeve that they're shown more than once, but it is hard sometimes to stick out at mid as a CT for an extended period of time. And to know that the T's won it back later on in the round. Furia here on match point. They have got to be sweating more than ever, but seem to be composed. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're letting off the gas pedal. Getting better as the rounds roll on. Some really impressive stuff.
To be 1 round away from your major. This is a team that we haven't really seen on LAN. They played at the NSG Eastern Conference Championships, a super small event in North America. Only got to 2nd place. You'd think to yourself then that they're not ready for something like this, but they have proven it otherwise thus far. An up and down road, having to take a hard hit versus NRG yesterday, makes them wonder, was the confidence going to be shaken at all coming into today? And it hasn't seemed so. Now they can smell it. They're going to hit this A bomb site inevitably. Yuri will be caught up in A main. Kerrigan knows he's here, but how do you get him out of this position? Because there's obviously other players occupying main. They go for the double peek, and it costs them both their lives. 4 versus 2. It's JDM and Drone to come over from this B bomb site, running upwards past the Z, and there's even Vinny here to stop them. Full belts of utility on the exit outwards. Down goes Vinny first. With the bomb not being planted, there is still some time for the CTs to get 1 step closer. They're in their retake positions. Op scoped in. JDM double scope, might not see the player above. But Gea Serrato plays patient. Art drops the body, and Furia Esports a single kill away from doubling the amount of Brazilians at IEM Katowice. They've done it. They've done it. Can you believe your eyes? Gea Serrato and co. making it happen. We saw the emotion, we saw the confidence, and Envy not eliminated from their entire chances. They'll fall into that third place play-in, which does unfold tomorrow, including all 4 of the third place teams from each minor. But enjoy this moment, Brazil. You have a second representative. You have the second best team from Brazil here on your screens, folks. It is Furia Esports.
Yeah, absolutely well earned, taking out 2 NA teams from this qualifier and going ahead, securing them stickers, securing themselves the attention of the rest of the community. Anybody who isn't watching now will be watching when they play in the next phase, and what more can you say about that? Fantastic way to close it out. Probably the best that we've seen them play so far, and just on Cash, a map that yesterday we had questions about, but yeah, they did it. And we didn't know that, and we didn't know how Envy were going to do on Cash, but they seemed prepared when we moved into the map. Oh my goodness.
Emotions running high, and understandably so. This means the world to all Counter-Strike players. That's where you want to wind up, is at the majors, and now they have. Launders, it was the LAN showings that we kind of questioned with Furia. It was the mid-round performances that we initially praised, and then the individual level just seemed to skyrocket throughout the week. Damn. Congratulations, Furia, and best of luck to Envy. But that's it from me and Launders. We're going to go ahead and throw this one back over to the desk where Stunna is standing by.
That's absolutely right. From the top of the Redeemer statue all the way down to Porto Alegre, they are celebrating tonight. They're not going to be able to keep the walls down there in terms of what it's going to be a party in South America. My goodness, a showing here, and one with a fury of a pace.
I think, you know, some really feel-good moments today. We obviously had the Greyhound one earlier and now this Furia one, and you can see how much it means to these guys. Like, Katowice has been the home for year after year when the majors happened here in the early days of emotions like these. I've felt what these guys are feeling right now, and let me tell you, there's no better feeling in the world because you've just achieved a dream that you've been working at. Yeah. For hours, days, years.
And that emotion, you know, it's pure elation, it's joy mixed with probably a big sigh of relief as well, because you already found yourself in one of those best-of-3 situations where, yeah, you know, even if we're not out, even if this doesn't go our way, we still have a shot at it. But this is a weight off the chest not to.
Couple things. I mean, first of all, I think Chad could probably agree with me on this one. That feeling you have there, and just the feeling of competition, those are the things you miss from playing, right?
Yeah,
I mean, 100%. You don't miss the grinding, you don't miss the hours you have to spend on actually theorizing this game and practicing to be able to be competitive. But it's those kind of emotions that really define this game. You know, there's always a discussion, you know, about esports and sports and the parallel. I don't really give a crap if it's, you know, if it's sport or not, but those emotions, you can't deny that, right?
100%.
It's massive. It's just fun to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, the passion is one thing, right? We got examples of it out of the game. We could see it all over the venue anytime these guys step into here. But I kind of have some sort of flashback here when it comes down to when we first saw the MIBR now, which was SK, which was LG a long time ago. And sort of that fire and passion that we're seeing in the server, the innovation that these guys are able to bring to the table is definitely something noteworthy.
I definitely think, you know, the style that these guys have approached it with, you can make the parallels, you can relate to that. And the thing is, these guys have grinded, and you can see the way that they approach the game, that they're all on that same page, they have the same goal, the same dream, and that's why we've been impressed by them. It isn't just one player stepping up and getting it done. I couldn't sit there and go, oh, this guy here was my MVP from this team. This was a team effort, and it's the team that turned heads, and it's the team that made it to the major, and that's why, you know, these guys are feeling what they're feeling right now.
Well, let's see what they're feeling. I think it's about time for us to check in with Furia, because not only are they ecstatic and all reeling in the emotions right now, we're going to have that chance right now with Jason Kaplan to hear what they've got to say.
Thank you very much, Stunna. And yes, if you actually saw the cameras when they were winning, the moments of them, the tears, the emotion coming out of all of you guys. Vinny, let's start off with you. I'm going to go straight forward here. Okay. How does it feel to be playing the major now?
It's living a dream. We train for this, we practice for this, we sacrifice everything for this, so no words for that.
Yeah, and no words really needed, to be honest. Art, looking at the series that we had just happen, Overpass, that I didn't really expect it to be over that quickly. What the hell happened? Like, did you guys have strategic plans set to go up against them, or was it just you guys were feeling it?
Actually, our Overpass is pretty good. We just don't have the chance to play on this minor. So when they pick Overpass, we are pretty confident to play against them. We studied them, but we just play our game.
And then this is an odd question, but because this is one of your first lands as a team together, it's like, I think you said it was 4th before we started talking. Where do you guys gauge yourself? Do you still feel like you have room to grow as a team? Do you think you're close to that 100% point right now, or are we going to see you guys even stronger back at the major?
Oh, you're gonna see us even stronger. We are like a pretty young team, so I think we have a great way ahead of us.
Okay, and I want to give you two a chance to say something to your fans out there. Obviously, all watching at home. Vinny, let's start off with you.
Obrigado a todo mundo que assistiu. Vai ter stickerzinho nessa porra. Vamos que vamos. Obrigado a todo mundo que sempre acompanha a gente, torce pela gente. A gente jogou pra vocês. Obrigado, gente.
Galera, faço minhas palavras as do Vini. Agradecer a todo mundo que torceu, a pessoal da Fúria, Jaime, a Kari, a moral que vocês dão pra nós, ajuda pra caralho. E, mano, é isso que o Vini falou, mano. Tamo junto demais, velho.
All right, guys, let's cut this interview short. Let's let you guys get out of here. Go party, go celebrate, because you guys are now in the major. Congratulations. Stunna, let's go back to you.
Thank you.
My goodness, I love to hear it. I love to see it. I love to see the jubilation there. You can see the look in their eyes. The Bible thumps are out in full force, and they're all in a positive way. In fact, all the scripting up to this point, it's out the window because Furia have made it to the major.
You going to clean that up?
No.
Okay. Well, I think...
yeah, I don't think that was very likely to happen, right?
Look, they've definitely been the second best team in this minor the whole time. NRG were, levels above everybody else, and that was known coming into this. But Furia have impressed. They've turned heads. They've done a fantastic job, and they've made it the full distance. So props to these guys. I can't be singing it enough. It's fantastic work, and I'm happy to see them make it this far.
Natu, as a guy that's coming from an organization that, you're finding yourself in the major for the first time, essentially, right? So talk to me about what this probably means from an internal perspective.
For this type of team that hasn't really had a lot of international exposure, I think, first of all, you want to just put a lot of credit into the way that they were able to play really, really patiently, especially in those last couple of rounds. They were taking it slow, really calculated, and I think this shows you just how mature they're within the game of Counter-Strike, right? I mean, those are the type of situations when the major's on the line, you could have easily tripped. You could have easily made a little bit of a mistake here and there, lost it, sloppy round, and then let enemy take it. But they've showcased that they have a lot of great tools, and it's obviously a massive thing for these guys to get the bill at a major, and I'm really looking forward to see them battle it out against some international competition.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where they stack up from a statistical and strategical standpoint, because now we're needing to stack up these brackets. They've all unfolded. You've seen just about everything you need to see. Of course, there is one more decider to be played, and that being an entire day of matches. Chad Sponge, Birch Hill from Down Under, walk me through these brackets, will you, buddy?
So here the most important matchup is the one we just saw, and that puts Team Envy down into the minor playoff that you were alluding to that happens tomorrow. That will have the teams Winstrike, North, Vici Gaming, and the likes of Envy, who we've just seen battling out for 2 more major spots. These guys, I believe it is seeded. It'd be Winstrike taking on Envy and North versus Vici. Don't quote me on that one right there, but I think that's the way that's going to go down. Top 2 teams from this tournament tomorrow will make it into the major as well, so they get that last chance, that one more shot at grabbing the glory. Oh, there it is.
Well, look at that. You made magic happen.
I was even correct with the brackets.
You did a phenomenal job there.
That was an accident.
Really impressed, to be honest. Chad, we couldn't have even forecasted that.
Just to touch on this bracket real quick. I mean, if you think of the opening games, North obviously a massive favorite in their matchup. Winstrike Envy, that's an interesting one.
One of the things that is common with all the teams right here, obviously North on paper is the favorite by a lot, but the fact of the matter is Vici today displayed a lot of firepower. Winstrike did the same when they were playing back during the CIS, and Envy have obviously had their moments. JDM lighting things up, Nifty with really good clutches. Everybody in all of these teams is going to be vowing to grab this spot, so tomorrow is where the real fireworks happen.
That's right, and tomorrow is what you're going to have to wait for, because that does it for us here on the desk, and that does it for the America's Minor. It's all done and dusted. It's all concluded to this. That's right, Furia heading on in right alongside that of Energy, and we're going to have to bring back the Energy tomorrow as we do get into some more matches. We got 3 best of 1s and 2 best of 3s coming your way, so make sure you're here with us, and we'll be right back.